Good morning, YouTube family. It's Coach Erica Janelle. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had an amazing weekend. Hopefully you were able to get some rest and have some time to yourself, some time to reset your batteries. Hopefully you got the things that you wanted to get accomplished. I just wanted to come before you guys really quickly this morning and share something that has been in my meditation time this morning as I was reading through scriptures. And one of the things that I want to talk about is understanding the importance of knowing how and when to give grace to people. Oftentimes we can be so judgmental about things, and not even just judgmental, but sometimes the way people treat us or the way things they do to us or things that people do just in general as human beings. We sometimes have to give people the grace to be human. Because we all are in these physical bodies and we all are subject to making bad decisions, to not necessarily always doing things the right way, always treating people in the best way that we could, always making the best choices. So in those types of situations, I want to encourage you guys to be mindful of the fact that we are all on our journeys of growth and learning. Now, that does not mean that you accept people with bad behavior because, or people's continue to let people treat you wrong or misuse you or abuse you. But I'm just saying, learning how to have grace on people and not expecting people to be perfect all the time. And that goes for your own self, giving yourself grace, and then extending that grace to other people. So, for example, if you have some situations, say with your children, and they did something wrong, or they made a bad decision or a bad choice, or something that was even really serious or negative, you need to be able to give them grace and understand that you're not perfect. You've also once been a child. You've also made bad decisions and bad mistakes. And the way that we grow is by learning. We learn by, sometimes making those mistakes and then making adjustments and making pivots. So I wanted to just kind of encourage you guys to be mindful of giving grace. Now, while I'm saying give grace, I feel led to say that just because you give grace to a person, like I said, it does not mean that you allow a person to abuse you. It does not mean you allow a person to treat you badly, to not respect you, not to honor you, not to treat you in the way that you treat them. It's just a matter of you just accepting that people are human. And even if that means you still have to cut them off or you still have to remove them from your life, that doesn't mean that you don't have to make that step, but it just means you give them grace. You take it, instead of taking it so personally, you realize that, okay, that's an area that they still are working on, or that's an area where I may need to work on, and maybe I need to develop, maybe I need to not be so sensitive in this area. Just really taking time to just give people grace, because we all are subject to making mistakes. We all are going to do some things that we're not very proud of, some things we're not very sure about, and some things that are not necessarily always in our best interest. So it's very important to make sure that you are giving people grace, because grace is something that we want and we receive freely from God. We are all people that have done things that should have given us death at the end of the day. But God has put grace on us and shown us grace and shown us mercy. So we need to extend that grace and that mercy to others. And it's just something that's been on my heart. I'm really working on that, because in this season of my life, I've had to remove several people out of my life. And it doesn't mean that that step wasn't necessary, but what I began to examine a little bit deeper is when I removed the people from my life, that didn't mean that I needed to carry any resentment or any anger or any hurt or pain or, being mindful of the betrayals or whatever that may be, but just giving people grace, knowing that we all are working towards becoming better people, or at least we should be working towards becoming better people every day. And sometimes we'll miss the mark and sometimes we won't. And sometimes we'll make the mark. But the fact of the matter is, I'm learning how to give grace to people and let people and understand that we are all human and we are all working through our issues. A lot of us have, if not all of us, have childhood traumas that we got to go work through. All of us have things and circumstances and situations that have shaped our mindsets and caused us to be defensive in certain areas. So we all are a work in progress as we are working toward our healing. That is something that you, as you mature, you'll start to see is normal for you to start working through those things and working through those areas. So I just want to encourage you guys that with that quick word, learning how to just give grace. Keep that as in the forefront of your mind. So when you're in those situations where somebody's hurting you or has done something to you, think about, just kind of analyze it before you react, and ask God to show you the wisdom and how to give grace in this situation. And grace could just mean forgiving them, but still removing them. And I just encourage you guys to do that. Just being more mindful of where we are in our lives and what we're all working on. That's something that I challenge you guys to continue to work on for the rest of your life, because I know I'm going to for the rest of my life. I love you guys. Have an amazing week, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.